morning, everyone. My name is Rebecca. It's just introduced me. I am from the European Internet Exchange Association, and today I'll be giving a presentation on the Internet Exchange Peering Database. So just to give you a little bit of background about EuroIX, we are an association of internet exchanges, mainly in Europe. Currently we have 81 members, but we do have over 57 IXPs in the EuroIX region, 49 in 49 countries, and these are operating over 100 peering lands. We do also have just about over 24 IXPs in the rest of the world as well. Our newer members are from Saudi Arabia and Costa Rica. Saudi Arabia joined within the last 2 months, and Costa Rica joined in January. So I'd just like to thank our patrons. We don't normally have what we call a normal sponsorship as other organizations do, but we do have something called patrons, and they help a lot to keep the association afloat, so we'd like to thank them. We currently have 10 patrons, and the newest one is Smart Optics. So what do we actually do? We have 2 fora per year, and these are normally held in a different European country each time. And one is done in the first quarter, and the second one in the fourth quarter of the year. We just had a forum in Galway in Ireland, and that was very successful. Our next one will be in Venice, and it will be hosted by 3 Italian IXPs, Namex, Topics, and V6. We also have a number of tools and website. We have database, which I will talk about later on. We have the Fellowship and Mentor IX program. Now, the Fellowship program is for IXPs who would like to attend our forums, but need a little bit of help to do that. And so we appeal to all of you in the room. If you would like to attend your IX forum and you need a bit of help, please do apply for the Fellowship scheme, and there'll be more details about that closer to the Venice forum. The Mentor IX program is for IXPs who are newly established that perhaps need a little bit of help from other IXPs that we are associated with. And so they offer help, whether it's with marketing or best practices, whatever that IXP needs help with to get started. We offer the resources, or we offer IXPs who have the resources to do that. We have a number of mailing lists for members and non-members. We have a number of reports, including the benchmarking report. We have the traffic statistics report, and we have other reports on hardware and root servers. We have a monthly newsletter. If you have any information that you'd like to share with the wider community, please do subscribe and email us, and we will share the news. We have a root server for large BGP communities, and you can access it on the EuroIX website. And we are also present at a number of media outlets, so you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So I am going to talk about the main point while I'm here, which is the IXPDB. So what is the IXPDB? So in 2001, EuroIX was formed as a response to a number of challenges and that IXPs were facing at the time within Europe. Now, we started to hold forums, and one of the first international people to attend was from Japan and Brazil. And it was seen as a good forum. The other organizations that helped to form the IXF, which is the International Exchange Federation, is Africa, So that's AFIX. We have Asia, which is APIX, EURIX, which is Europe, and LACIX, which is Latin America and America. So collectively, these IXPAs represent over 145 IXPs across 6 continents. And the way that it's operated is by 2 representatives from each IXP, which feed into the IXPA. So just to give a little bit of history and objectives, as I said, EURIX was formed from a number of challenges and a response to that. And when JPIX and Brazil attended, they decided that this was a very good idea, and they decided to do their own regional forum or regional conferences. And then they formed APIX and LACIX and then they joined the IXF with a MOU in 2012. AFIX was formed in 2013, and then they joined the IXF in 2014. So the objectives of the IXF is mainly to address the increase in policy and regulatory issues around the world. Most of you know in the room that there's, increasing, I'd say news, increasing interest in IXPs, and there was no global voice for this. So the IXF was formed mainly and primarily to address this and to be a global voice for the IXPs. So the second point is to facilitate interaction between IXPs to address shared challenges and goals, and this is done via the forums. So if you attend a forum, IXPs are sharing their technical software, what they're using, what challenges they're facing, what goals they are working towards, and any best practices. Which leads to the third point, is to provide a central resource for IXP-related data, research, and best practice. So you're probably thinking, why do we need another database? Well, the IXPDB is not new. It was created in 2001 at the formation of EURIX, and it was formerly called the EURIX database. So with the formation of the IXF, which includes APIX, LACIX, and APIX, it didn't make sense to have separate databases or separate regional databases. And so the IXF got together and said, this global database would be better, which would have regional scope. So each IXPA will have access to its own database and its own IXPs within that region. So the IXPs at the time and still now don't have control over their data in PeeringDB. That's one of the key databases with IXPs in this community, but we saw that there's a need to work with other databases, including PeeringDB, which is key. So the IXF committed to build the IXPDB. In 2004, there was a hackathon in Sheffield, and along with PeeringDB, we committed to build the database. And so this was contracted out to 20C at first, but now we are now working with NICCZ on this. So what does the IXPDB actually do? It has a single repository for IXP data, which holds data on the members, including information such as ASN, ISPs, IP, etc. It holds IXP-related data such as switch information, root server information. Sorry about that. It provides authoritative data. Now, what this means is the data comes directly from the IXPs, and it's automated via a JSON schema. So the IXPs have total control. We don't have any manual input with this. The only manual input would be to actually create IXPs, and this will be done via admins. So there's an option for various databases which could be used to verify and validate that data against the IXPDB. And where there's any discrepancies in any of these databases, something that has been discussed is to have a notification field that will send a notification where there's any discrepancies. So other databases could also use the IXPDB as a subset. What we mean by that is that if there is a data center that does not operate in IXP, it would not be in the IXPDB. However, it would be present at other databases. So that data center will be present in other databases. So the IXPDB is also complementary to other databases, and it has the scope to further improve data quality to benefit you, the community. So how does the IXPDB work? It's done through the IXF JSON schema, which is an export. That's good enough. So it's an export and an agreed standardized JSON schema, which allows the IXPs to make their member list, which is published to the IXPDB. And you have that data which is available on the GitHub page. So the IXF export allows the individual to publish the IXP, and their source of data is done from the IXP and its own exposure. So what this means is that if you want to publish your data publicly or privately, you'll be able to do that on the IXPDB. We currently have two databases, or two APIs, which allows the IXPDB to be published, and which is the IXP Manager, and also Asteroid have an API which feeds into it, so we really like this. As I said, you're able to publish your data publicly or privately, so you have that choice, and I think this is a key thing for IXPs, to have a choice whether they publish this privately within the IXPs or they can publish it publicly, and this allows us to still have aggregated data from the IXP. So the IXP publishes through a single API, and we are currently holding workshops to support this. So there was a workshop in your IX meeting, there was a workshop during the LAC-IX meeting, there was a workshop during Apricot at the APIX meeting, and there will be one hopefully during the AFIX meeting in August, September. And by the end of June, we're expecting around 110 IXPs to be published on the IXPDB, and 57 of those will be through IXP Manager, and 53 of those will be through the IXP's own API. So currently, where are we? The IXP, the API is live. We are looking to integrate with other databases. Sorry, I'll just turn this way. So as I said before, IXPs can pick the level of exposure that they want, and they can approve and create new IXPs, as I said earlier, through admins. So you can have an admin for APIX, LAC-IX, and AFIX as well as the URIX having an admin as well. And this allows us to create new IXPs in that database, but not to manipulate any other data, as this is done automatically through the IXPs themselves. So the last updated field shows users when the data was last updated, and this comes directly from the IXPs. We currently have a geolocation and maps, and we also have aggregated vendor data of the IXPs. Currently on the website, this is done as a pie chart, and this is done through converting the MAC addresses of the IXPs and the members that they have. We also have the compare function, and in the old database, this was quite a huge and large data set, and you had to scroll across the screen and it was quite long. It's been further improved in the new IXPDB, and so I encourage you to check that out. And we're hoping to have aggregated traffic data coming soon. So if in search of all this information, you can access the website, IXPDB.net. I must stress that this is a work in progress, and if you have any suggestions about how to improve this or anything that you would like to see, please do email Secretariat, and we will be happy to discuss this further. We have a mailing list for the users. You can access it also on the EURIX website. The API is available, API@IXPDB.net, and if you think this is good work, please do email us. We're looking for funding. If you'd like to further discuss what this, IXPDB does or what it hopes to do, again, please be in contact with us, secretariat@ixf.net. And that's it. Any questions? No? Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next presentation is the road of 400G over the next 12 months. It will be presented by Thomas Weibel.